This is the Art Zone.
You're watching Art Zone, a document of art and artists in the Rockford area. This episode's special treat is an interview with Michael Bugler. And we'll return to our collection segment with Chris and Eva Laird.
Hi, I'm Doc Slavkowski, and this is the Art Zone. We're coming to you from J.R. Kortman Center for Design downtown in the heart of Rockford's cultural district. What's the relationship between graphic design, a Kortman Gallery exhibition, and a Pez machine? Well, we'll find out when we talk with artist Michael Bugler about his art show entitled Active Assemblage at the Kortman Gallery. Then we'll see the outstanding collection of art and artifacts as Dennis Horton pays a visit to the Rockford home of Chris and Eva Laird. The Lairds, who are purveyors of high-fashion furs of the Williams Laird Fur Company, live in posh surroundings with an almost overwhelming collection of unusual and elegant art. We're talking with artist Michael Bugler, whose art show at the Kortman Gallery is entitled Active Assemblage. Michael, also for a living as a professional, he is a graphic designer besides being an artist, and he appears here as a human Pez machine. Michael, tell us a little bit about your art. I know in the press release that was given for your show, one of the lines that you said is that you like wiggly things. Tell us about that.
Well, wiggly things are kind of an active shape. I think they intrigue people a bit because they appear to be moving, and some of my work is articulated so that it can be opened or closed, viewed from different aspects. The shape of the work itself changes as the piece is adjusted.
How do you feel your career as a graphic designer influences your artwork?
Obviously, I think it has a pretty big influence. I'm used to working with shapes, moving them around, adjusting how one thing counteracts with another thing. I think it I just froze.
That's okay.
Let's start over again.
Okay. Take two. We're talking with artist Michael Bugler, whose art show at the Kortman Gallery is entitled Active Assemblage.
I've known Mike Bugler for a long time, and I haven't seen this side of him. I'm really, really happy to see how funny he is. He would be a very, very lighthearted artist with a wonderful ability to play on words with his art. It's accessible. We've been all playing with the hinges that move, and I've been making some shadows on the walls with some of the pieces that move and can make profiles with some unexpected results, shall we say. Yeah. It's really fun, and it's so wonderful to know somebody and not know really his wonderfully creative side, and then discover that too. I love it.
How do you feel your artwork relates to your career as a graphic designer?
I'm used to working with pieces and assembling them to create a printed piece. By that I mean bring in photos or text or objects of some kind onto a page, and I guess I'm transferring that experience into this particular medium using unusual elements, found objects, or wiggly things, so to speak, to create a layout of some kind.
As a graphic designer, you work with a computer. As an artist, do you use the computer at all?
I have in the past, but I haven't shown anybody else my work in that respect. I'm still experimenting with it.
What do you think of people when they go up and like touch your art? How do you feel about that?
Well, the art is made to be examined, and some of it moves, some of it doesn't, but the ones that are have some piece on it that can move, I want people to play with it and do something with it and experiment with it, make it move, make it adjust itself. I think it makes it more interesting as an experience.
What about, with your artwork, the shapes and things of the pieces change as people do manipulate them. Is the element of, let's say, interior design, do you think about that when you're doing your work, or would you like someone who is viewing your work not to be thinking about that at all?
I usually don't think about it as I'm doing the piece. It's interesting to see my pieces in different environments to see how they relate to it. They're kind of strong and don't perhaps relate to a lot of traditional type environments, but you never know. It just depends on the arrangement. I don't keep that as the object when I'm creating the piece. I'm mostly just thinking about the piece itself.
We're talking with Gary Carlson, and we would like to get your reactions to Mike Bugler's art.
Well, I think it's great to see that. I didn't realize this side of Mike. I've seen his commercial artwork, and I really love the textures, the colors he uses. It's very different. It's surprising. I mean, I really enjoy it.
You appear here as a human Pez machine. What is your connection with Pez?
You mean there's a connection? Actually, I've been collecting Pez machines or dispensers since the late 70s. I have approximately maybe 200 of them. Some are multiples. So when we were doing this, we thought it might be sort of fun to have a Pez theme here.
I understand you attended a Pez collectors convention in St. Louis. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, I did.
I think it's great. There's only one piece that's up here that I've seen before. Everything else is brand new. And I think it's tremendous.
And is there any particular piece that strikes you in the place that you really like?
Yes, but he won't let me have it unless I pay the price.
Well, I'm just curious to know, I guess, what it was like. What were the people like there? And did you feel like you fit in? Or did you really did you reach Mecca when you were there with all these people? Or?
I didn't know what to expect, actually. I'd never been to anything like that. I'd heard that there were conventions around the country, and actually there are three annual conventions that I'm aware of. I went to the one in St. Louis last year just to see what that was all about. Previously, I hadn't even been aware that there were other collectors of Pez machines. So, but when I got down to St. Louis, I discovered that the people who collect are it's a broad range of personalities and jobs and things like that. Some are professional people like lawyers and accountants. Others are high school students. There are housewives, auto mechanics, all kinds of people.
Is there any connection between your interest in Pez collecting to your art?
No.
Oh, I love Michael's show. I love everything Michael does. I have a lot of his artwork of myself, so.
And do you see, being a graphic artist, do you see a connection between his graphic work and then also?
Oh yeah, definitely. He graphically he brings a lot of the same elements into his design work when he's designing for somebody else. He always brings a little bit of his personality into the work that he does for other people, which I think is wonderful trademark for graphic designers to do. Not necessarily always doing just kind of stale, flat graphics.
We're talking to J.R. Sullivan, who's attending the opening of Michael Bugler's Active Assemblage show at the Kortman Gallery. Can you give us any reactions to the show?
Well, you know what I really like about Michael Bugler's work is the how things work in relief. The half moon shapes in some cases, the surprising characterizations of shape against the background. I think that's really it's evocative. It's also humorous, and it works in several levels that way. And I really like that about his show.
Start that question over again.
Oh. Bugler, just answer my questions, all right?
God, I hope they can edit these things.
You're doing fine, really, so far, too. It's really good.
You liar.
I'd like to show you my new glasses. Michael Bugler made these for me special. People probably didn't realize that Michael not only is gifted in creating art, he's also an ophthalmologist.
All right, Michael, we've talked about stripes in your work. We've talked about wiggly things. Now let's talk about color and how you're influenced by color, or how your utilization of color.
I like to use the color as a foil to the stripy parts. I'm attracted to bright colors, I think. I like the juxtaposition of the monochromatic tones that I might have in the piece with the brighter colors. I think the color can do some work in the piece as far as pulling part of it out so that the viewer is attracted to that particular piece.
There seems to be, though, there's one predominant color, and I call it Bugler green just because I'm familiar with your work, and I know you use that a lot. What is that color to you, and why is that used so much in your work?
It's hard to explain exactly why I'm attracted to particular colors. I guess I would like a particular shade of green a lot, so I use it on my work. I like it in combination with other tones and other values. I can't say exactly why I've decided to go with this. It's been kind of a theme for the last 5 years or so, I would guess. I don't know.
Well, kidney beans is something that affects me. I guess I like the colors. I like the combination of the copper with the that aqua blue or the bright blue. It just makes me feel, I don't know, happy, or it just brings out a good feeling in me. I enjoy all of his stuff. I think it's very up kind of stuff. It might not make sense to people, but it just looks good.
That's great. What do you think, Michael Bugler, as a graphic designer, what is it like to see his work, which is, graphic design is more commercial, and this has more of the fine arts bent? What do you think about that?
I really like it because it shows that people are different in their styles of art. I've gone to a lot of different art shows around here, and a lot of my friends are artists, and I've seen all the different types of medium that's around here, and I think he did a really good job, and I like it a lot.
I enjoy Michael's art a lot. I like the interesting objects he uses, be they twigs or plastic cows or auto glass, things like that. The thing I'm enjoying the most, though, right now is he's using these bold strokes of color, big bands, and bold background colors, but underneath there's so much action going on in the coat that's set back. It's really interesting.
I'm never disappointed by Michael's artwork. It always is so interesting and fun, and he always uses a lot of interesting different concepts and so forth.
How much of the viewer in mind do you have when you're doing the work? Are you satisfying, do you think, a viewer need, or are you satisfying your own needs as an artist?
I really don't think about other people when I'm doing this. I'm pretty much responding to my own sense of whether I like the shapes and how they're working. Sometimes I think about how it might look hanging on the wall in my own house. A lot of times when I'm doing work for a particular show, it's being done on a deadline. I don't have a lot of time to put it aside and think about it for a while, and I kind of don't like that. I would like to live with the piece for a while and think about it and see what I've done, what I could do differently. I don't usually envision how other people are going to use it, so it's usually a surprise when I see what has happened to them. But a lot of times, once they've been sold, I never see them again, so it's just kind of sad.
Where do you think your work is going? Like, how is it stripes and wiggly things going to be sort of like a trademark in your work, or do you think someday you'll move on and that they won't be important anymore?
I guess they're sort of starting to become a trademark from, I don't know how well my work is known in the community, actually. I guess I'm currently sort of fascinated with those sorts of things. I could see myself evolving into another method or motif. It's really hard to say. I like the articulated shapes now, the things that fold into themselves or unfold. I can see that going on.
I like the lines that Michael has, and I like the colors. I think they're very vivid. I feel comfortable with the art, and I'd love some of it in my home.
How about canvas? Do you think you'll ever work on canvas again?
I've been considering some projects where using canvas. I'm not certain exactly how to articulate it or to construct the pieces that will hold it, but I don't think I'd be using a stretch canvas necessarily. It would be painted or fabricated in some way and hung from movable devices, which would have to be figured out. But that's in the future. I haven't quite gotten to that point yet.
You did mention earlier in the conversation that you were influenced by Russian constructivists. And tell us what you mean by that.
I like the way they used geometric shapes. They used arcs and typography sometimes, which also relates to the graphic design aspect. I guess it's the feeling of movement that they were able to come up with. The pieces, the color, the way they hook the colors and shapes together. My work really is not a copy of that, but I think in some ways that was an influence.
Great. I mean, fun is one word that comes to mind. There's a couple of pieces that I really, really love. I love the kidney bean piece, which was, of course, probably one of his, more well-publicized pieces. I really like that. I love the multimedia approach that he uses with the metals and the paints, and the different levels of depth, right? I'm really not normally tongue-tied, but honey, what do you think?
This looks like Jerry, and this looks like Doc.
As an artist, you're mortal, but there is a certain aspect to the work that you create that has the possibilities of immortality. How do you think, or how would you like people to remember you from your work?
Well, I'd hope they get a good feeling from it. I guess I don't really think about them being immortal works of art. They serve a particular purpose at the time, and then I imagine that people will move on. I hope that people will like them while they have them. I hope they'll be passed on to their loved ones or whoever. It's hard to know. It's such a personal thing whether you like art or not, or a particular style of art. And I think these pieces are kind of idiosyncratic. So I hope they'll like them. The end.
When we're not skateboarding, we watch the Art Zone.
And now, as part of Art Zone's collection series, Dennis Horton pays a visit to the Rockford home of Chris and Eva Laird.
Occasionally on the Art Zone, we take you on the tour of the homes of artists and collectors. Tonight, we are visiting with Chris and Eva Laird, who will take us on a tour of their home and their collection. Both of you, thank you very much tonight for joining us on the Art Zone. Chris and Eva, could you tell me a bit about what you have hanging here in your entryway?
In the entranceway, we have a press and click. We have two John Lebowski's, Salvador Dali, and the main painting that features in the entranceway is an Alexander Lieberman.
They're all gorgeous.
Thank you.
And when you turn left and you start to walk into your living room, above the desk is just a striking piece. If you could begin to tell me a little bit about what we're going to find when we get there, it's really quite incredible.
George Deem, I believe he's a New York artist, and that's a Rembrandt copy. And even though it's a Rembrandt copy, I still think it's really a lovely, soft piece, in contrast to the Lieberman, which is full of primary colors. I grew up with art. My parents' home, every inch of the wall was covered with artwork. And later on in life, I think, I just picked up a piece here and there until I met Pat Sneed. And that's when I became serious about collecting and buying.
I think probably when I started dating Eva, she got me involved in art. And then going to Pat Sneed's galleries and then getting involved that way in arts. And then today, I think we have appreciation both with art. And, we've got art throughout the whole house. So I guess, you just go from room to room to room. Even in the bathrooms, there's art. The piece above our bed is a local artist, Alan Adlington. And, it's a beautiful piece that, it's a nude of a woman that is abstract. And you look at it and it's an outstanding piece.
And we're in the bedroom now where we have the works of 3 local artists.
We have Alan Addington above our bed. It's an impressionist of a woman. And then we have also Sherry Rittenhouse, that 2 ink pieces.
And this looks like a Marlene Macaulay.
It is, absolutely. Beautiful piece. I'm sitting here thinking and looking around, and all but one piece of the artwork is from Rockford. It's from local galleries and from Greenwich.
It's hard to say what attracts one about a piece of art. You look at it, you like it, and I can't tell you what it is exactly. It just makes me feel good, makes me happy, and I enjoy it.
Because art isn't necessarily a piece of, a painting or sketching. It could be crystal. We love crystal and can't stop buying crystal. The pre-Columbian artifact, the clocks. Art is everywhere. And, I guess, if you have to grab one piece, I think we'd probably stand in the middle of the room and go, which one? Because we enjoy all of them.
Look at the Lieberman. What is that? There is nothing to understand about it. It's a feeling. It's beauty, and there may be perhaps movement in it. There's certainly brilliant colors in it, primary colors in it. I don't know how to describe it. Because I don't know what it is. All I know it's beautiful, and I don't have to understand it. many John Lebowski's pieces, there is no way to understand it. Why should one try to have to understand it or figure it out? Just enjoy it, love it, look at it.
When you walk into the living room or walk into your bedroom or even in your bathroom, you walk in and you see a piece that just, you look at it and brings a smile to your face and you think, oh yeah, I remember this piece, when we bought it, or if there was something happened at the time that the reason why you bought a piece.
I don't know if we ever go out and look for a piece of art. When we're at Doc and Jerry's or the Greenwich Art Fair, wherever, we look around and you see it, it hits, you like it, you buy it.
You go into people's homes and you see something that, gosh, I haven't seen this. Where did you get it? Oh, I bought it at 317 Market Street. I bought it at anywhere.
You don't have to.
It's something that, maybe I should go to that opening next time.
We're in the family room now, and we all know that everyone doesn't like everything, and we have a Colescott now.
That was purchased by me, and I like it, and my husband happens to dislike it.
It's not my favorite piece throughout the house.
He thinks it's very violent, which it probably is, but that's part of life.
And the thing is, when people do come into our house for the first time, we're excited about the what we've collected over the years, and it's great to go into somebody's home and learn about what they've got. And so we like to teach and show people things that it's taken many years to get out of this collection.
Thanks for watching the Art Zone. We hope you enjoyed the show. By the way, now you can enjoy the experience of gallery hopping each and every Saturday as Rockford's Cultural District presents Art on Saturday downtown. Galleries on both sides of the river will be open all day Saturday. So come down and enjoy the art. By the way, if you have any further questions, give us a call at 968-0123. And once again, thanks for watching the Art Zone.
Art Zone is funded by J.R. Kortman Center for Design and Cafe Esperanto, downtown.
This is the Art Zone. 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 This is the Art Zone.